Hi, I'm Megan, English teacher and mom to 2 teenagers, and I'm reading the Twilight books and talking about what I think is fun about them and what's problematic. Right now, we're diving into chapter 3 of Twilight and chapters 3 and 4 of Midnight Sun. This is part 6, Vampire Angst. We got a nice bonus chapter of this day in Midnight Sun. This is chapter 4 with some important Cullen character development. Edward goes back to school after the accident and visiting the hospital, and he calls himself an obsessed vampire stalker for wanting to leave and go find Bella, which good for him for having a pretty accurate picture of his own desires and how sketchy they are. He tells us all about how he should be sowing the seed of Bella's unreliable nature so that if she tells anybody what she saw or what he did, she won't be believed, but he just can't do it. He ends up not being able to because he thinks it's just too unchivalrous, which is kind of cute. But then he finds out that Rosalie and Jasper want to unalive Bella because she knows their secret. He absolutely loses it and decides that he will fight his family for this girl that he's had all of 2 conversations with and cannot be around without making her terrified of him. The Cullens end up having a family meeting back at their house where they all argue about what to do until Alice eventually reveals, not necessarily very willingly, that Bella will be one of them one day, and where Jasper decides not to unalive Bella because he loves Alice too much, and Alice will love Bella. Very sweet. He still needs lots of therapy. Edward spends the rest of this chapter spiraling out over the horror of Bella being changed. He's very against it, and he is sure that he can change the future and stop this from happening. Spoiler alert, he can't. But what is really important here is that no one can possibly hate Edward more than Edward hates himself. He really frustrates me with his toxic nonsense towards Bella, but I really feel for him and worry about him too. In this part, he's a lot with his brooding and his obsession and his stalking, but I really do think he hates himself, and that is really sad and hard to read, even if he is a fictional 100-plus-year-old vampire. Anyway, this was a super crazy chapter with so much going on. I hope you enjoyed these thoughts. I would love to know what you think about these chapters, and I will see you tomorrow when we can start talking about chapter 4 of Twilight. Bye.